The learning curve for NFL rookies is high, if you ask me, and even particularly so on the defensive side of the ball. You can see that with a lot of first round safeties that have been drafted. Kyle Hamilton and Daxton Hill, neither one of them are playing a whole lot for the Bengals and the Ravens for various reasons. I'd say that dynamic is repeated with Jermaine Johnson so far. He's only been playing about 20 snaps a game on defense for the Jets through 4 weeks. But his snap count kind of shifted in week 4, and I want to tell you a little bit about that before we get into 5 plays to show you, how he's progressing, and some of the things he's really, really good at. He's playing about 20 snaps a game. I think he played 22 last week against the Steelers, but his special team snaps kind of tell you a little bit about where he's going. Weeks 1, 2, and 3, I think he was playing about 14 or 16 special team snaps per game. Matter of fact, I think week 3 he played 18. Week 4, he only played 4 special team snaps. Now, there might have been something that went on in terms of DN depth, so they realized they were going to need to use Jermaine Johnson. That's possible. It's also possible that the defensive coaches recognize, okay, we're going to start incorporating Jermaine some more, so we're going to pull him back from special teams, let him focus at defensive end. As we look at some of the film, you'll see what I mean, I hope, about the learning curve being high. And you'll see at least one thing that Jermaine Johnson is exceptional at. He overwhelms Freiermuth here at tight end. Ends up with his body at a 90-degree angle to the line of scrimmage, and then is able to dive back out to the outside. Look at what he's done to Freiermuth. I mean, he has totally taken Freiermuth and knocked him to the inside. Now, the scheme for the Steelers, it looks like they're pulling 2 linemen. They're pulling the center, and they're pulling the tackle. So maybe they want Freiermuth to take him down, but they certainly don't want Freiermuth to get manhandled like this, and then Johnson to be able to shed off of him and make the tackle. That's a pretty impressive play. Really, if you're a coach and you're watching that, you're like, I don't know if our tight ends can handle this guy. And that's one of the reasons why they put him head up in this 6 alignment, all right? I think it's a brutally, explosive play by Jermaine Johnson. I think his get off at times in this video isn't going to look incredibly fast compared to what we would expect to see. Here he is again, lined up in between the 2 tight ends. And you can see what I mean. They've got him a little bit wider, but the Steelers are running the same play, and they're just taking him down. So 81 is just taking him down this time, and they're releasing Freiermuth up to the front side inside linebacker, which is Mosley. On the previous play that I showed you, Johnson was lined up head up on Freiermuth here in a 6 and was just able to physically dominate him and then jet back outside and get involved with the tackle. Here he's lined up inside, so by rule, 81's just taking him down, and they're running this thing off tackle. Now, I haven't shown you the second half of this play, though. Najee Harris ends up all the way over to the sideline, and that's Jermaine Johnson who runs over there and makes the tackle. Does he look incredibly fast compared to an NFL running back? No, but he's not giving up on the play. He's motivated to get over there. I think he's got a great motor, man. I can't wait to see him playing more snaps, but if you watched any of this channel prior to or after the Ravens week 1 game against the Jets, I think they've got some pretty good guys over there, to be honest with you, at defensive end. Here he is lined up in a 6 again. This time Freiermuth isn't going to step to him. Freiermuth's going to kind of zone step this to the outside and go get the front side inside linebacker, which I think is Alexander. He's got to deal with a tackle. So the tackle gets into him a little bit. Luckily, they've got Mosley trying to defend this B gap, so they're able to handle this zone by the center and the right guard, number 78, and Mosley's able to push the guard back to the inside. So Jermaine Johnson, is he setting a hard edge here? No, he'll do better than that if you ask me, but he's dealing with a tackle. So I'm showing you this to compare how he dealt with Freiermuth on that first play, and even the down block by number 81 on the second play, versus dealing with an NFL tackle. I think we would expect that a rookie defensive end, even though he's 6'5", 260, 265, would have a little bit more trouble with a starting right tackle in the NFL. Makes sense, right? All right, going to show you his first sack. And one of the things that I love just watching different teams, different players, and trying to focus in on the player is you see a commitment to certain things, and you see certain things that guys are good at. First of all, I love his stance. And you see his eyes are looking in at the ball, ready to take off. I love how low his stance is. I mean, does he pop up, a little bit? Maybe you'd like for him to kind of explode out a little more, but and that would improve his get off some. It's not a slow get off, but I think he just could get it faster. And then another thing I like a whole lot is how violent he is with his hands. And he's, the placement isn't there in all of these situations. But look, he's taking his inside arm, driving it through the chest. Maybe he's got a little bit of a face mask. I'm not sure, but he's trying to drive that tackle and supplant him out of there. And then the last part, something that he's really good at, is the rip. When he gets that inside shoulder beneath you, he can really rip up and continue to carry your weight, but in the direction he wants to go to be able to make a play. Hopefully you guys can see what I mean here, and you'll definitely see it on the next play, the fifth and final play. Like I said, this is his first full sack. I think he had a half sack against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in week 1. Exciting for me to see the first full sack. Clearly not exciting for me to see him, get a sack against Lamar since I'm a Ravens fan. All right, here he is in his 5 technique again, and they're stunting the strong safety off the weak side. So he's ripping inside. Again, similar to how that pass rush play ended up with his inside rip and then a violent hit between him and the strong safety on Najee Harris. They really just kind of fold him up. Guys capable of these types of plays. I'm not sure why he does. I mean, they have Lawson. They have multiple other guys at defensive end that they use often. They're an even front team. They're a 4-3 team with base personnel in. So they're going to have a number of guys who can play out of a nickel alignment in that 5 technique or that 9 technique because they are a 4-3 team. They have defensive ends. They don't have stand-up outside linebackers on the line of scrimmage like the Steelers or the Ravens. I just love the rip. When he gets underneath the guys, he's able to carry their weight, like I said, in the direction he wants to go. It's a stunt, so they're bringing a strong safety off the edge. So, it looks to me like it's a situation where they're expecting run. Maybe it's late in the game. Maybe it's 3rd and 2, whatever. But it's a great play by Jermaine Johnson, if you ask me. All of those rookies, this was really the first year for me that I was really focusing on rookies at all, doing any kind of content related to the draft. So some of these guys, I had seen some film of them in college. And now, trying to stay connected in terms of tracking where they are, how they're playing. Can't check in on every one of them every week in terms of a film study, but I thought I would try to show you this because I gathered about 10 or 12 Jermaine Johnson plays from week 4 against the Steelers, and I thought these 5 could show you some certain things he does well and certain things that, as far as the get off maybe, I think he could improve on. Appreciate you guys checking the video out. Let me know what you think of the film in the comments section.